Okay, guys. Uh, See if anybody comes on. Like I said, I'm pretty adamant about. I guess there's nobody on with me here, so I'll kind of do it on my own, fly on my own. A few things that I'm pretty adamant about. I live here in Houston, and I hear people talking about uh, quality deer management and obviously letting the small ones walk so they get bigger. And I had a pretty good discussion with a friend of mine. You could check him out on YouTube, Instagram. It's Chasing Tines Across State Lines. And I might have talked about it before, but uh, we had a pretty, I guess, about a week or so ago, we were talking about uh, he's real adamant about, I mean, obviously, if you let the small ones walk, they get bigger. But my argument with that was, and I know a lot of this is, there's a lot of pros and cons with it. If you belong to a club that's that's their rules, I can understand that because you joined their club. I mean, that you knew the rules and everything else. But my argument is uh, as it's like these the state dictating it or hunting in general dictating it. And I seen a rant by Michael Waddell, and you should check it out. Michael Waddell's rant, and he talked about it too. And to me, he hit the nail on the head. He's like, he said, "How do you tell a guy that he doesn't have all season, spends a lot of money? I mean, wants to put meat in the freezer, and you're telling him he has to shoot something big?" And here's my argument. Here's my scenario. Uh, and I guess it's pretty good with the state of Texas, and really, it's probably going to be pretty good with any state. Uh, if you if you a deer steps out. You're on here where they hunt are a lot of senderos. Senderos are basically alleyways. And I got a friend of mine that hunts down here. He hunts in the piney section, and I'll use him as an example. He's perfect. He's got a feeder out there about 100 yards. He's a rifle hunter, and I mean, and he at least he has a little bit of an advantage over a bow hunter. A deer steps out, or let me back up. You're bow hunting. Here come a deer to your feeder. You don't have many weekends to hunt. You paid a lot of money for this hunting club. You paid a lot of money for the corn. You paid a lot of money for that side by side because a lot of these clubs demand that you also have a side by side, or some sort of means of getting in and out. Some sort of four wheeler, either four wheeler or side by side. Here you go again, cha-ching, a little bit more money. And this is the argument I have. So here I go. Deer steps out. Here in the state of Texas, has to be outside his ears. In some hunting clubs, they're even going as far as saying you got to age him. So here he goes. He steps out. You're not sure he's outside his ears. You look. You're like, damn, it's a buck. Where I grew up in the state of New Jersey, I don't know if it's the same way. Pennsylvania, it used to be this way. If it was 3 inches, if you were hunting during a time when you were supposed to shoot a buck. Hold on, let me see something here a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, somebody wants to come on. I mean, I can have a field day with this, and I'm sure somebody could have a pretty good argument with this too. Uh, I just a deer steps out and you see it, and it's like according, you can't shoot it because it doesn't meet the criteria as far as the state out past his ears and all that. Not that you care, because basically you are a meat hunter. Hold on one second. Hold on. Am I on, hon? But anyway, I apologize for that. Uh, so now this deer steps out. It doesn't meet, the standards. So you got to let it walk. You're like, you just shot it. Perfect deer, good eating deer. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at what this baby's going to look like in my freezer. Perfect. Young buck. Uh, so you got to let it walk because state says not big enough, not wide enough, doesn't meet the buck standard. What steps out behind it is a banger. And, I'm sure out there you're going, great, that's what it's all about. So you either put a bullet in it or put an arrow in it. You drop it. Not that you give a crap, because when you get this bad boy home, you're going to lop them antlers off, probably turn them into a set of rattling horns. The last thing you're going to do is mount it. I mean, I'm talking about probably the more seasoned hunters. I mean, there's plenty of guys out there who say, oh man, a good buck, I'm going to mount it. I don't know the last time you looked at as far as mounting a deer anymore. Now you're talking a better part of $500. And a lot of guys don't mount them. They European mount them, throw them in the garage. If nothing else, whop the antlers off, throw them in the garage. You shoot this deer, it's laying there. Here comes Joe Schmo walking out of the woods, another guy that's hunting the same patch of woods you are, or the adjacent piece, or whatever. And he walks up and goes, damn, killer buck. I've been hunting that deer. And you look at him and you say, son, I'll be honest with you, I don't care what's on his head. I mean, I don't know what he scores. I don't care what he scores. Let me tell you something. If you want them antlers, step on one side or the other and rip them the frig off, because they're all yours, because I can care less. So my point is, you have to shoot a big buck. You don't care. Some guys don't. And if you do, that's even better, because here we go again. Now, here's the other side of that scenario. He's hunting the other adjacent piece of woods. Here come that small buck, walks past him. He ain't shooting it. He's got a standard, and it's great. And I'm proud of him, and that's what it's all about. We all have our own. And he lets it walk. Jumps the fence, comes on your side, and the next thing he hears is kapow, or if you're hunting with a bow, he never hears it. But he never knows. You just shot that buck he let walk. So he did you a favor, and if you would have been able to shoot that smaller one, you did him a favor, because you let it walk. You shot that smaller one, and you guys out there, will agree with me. A lot of times, the big ones will follow up them smaller bucks or does or whatever. And how many times have we probably blown it? I know I probably have, because I am a bow hunter. Numbers mean nothing to me. It's not the trophy. It's basically how hard it's the journey for me to get there. I mean, if I have an opportunity at a big one, trust me, I love it. If I don't, so be it. I just love to hunt, and that's what Michael Waddell was talking about. He said, "Who has the right to tell the guy in the woods what you have to shoot?" Like I said, here I go again. If you belong to a club and that's the rules you knew you joined. But when I buy my hunting license, I don't agree with that they come with, besides everything else. I mean, I pay good money for that. It isn't like I get a discount if I say, okay, I'm buying a hunting license and I'm going to only shoot trophy bucks. Okay, then my license is cheaper because I'm going to let all these other deer walk. It isn't. I have to abide by these rules. And who made them? I don't know. I don't agree with them. I don't know if you do. And if you do or you don't, let me know. Let me know how you feel. And that's kind of, a lot of that as far as that quality deer management. So I'll throw that out there. And, if you agree with it or you don't, I mean, shoot me a text. Let's get on. I'll get on your link. Excuse me. If you got a hunting link and you want to talk about it, I'd love to get on yours. But I also love for you to get on mine and let us talk about it. Okay. With that, another thing I'd like to talk about is hunting stories. Because, I mean, I got plenty. I mean, I know I got plenty of them. I mean, I was just, I'm going to bounce around. I was just in Goodwill today. I'm kind of a Goodwill kind of guy, because especially down here in Texas, I mean, I find clothes that are to die for, because a lot of people, I mean, down here in Texas, I mean, real quick, man, a lot of people come from up north down here in Texas, and the last thing they need is warm clothes. Because trust me, if you got a jacket or a sweatshirt, you're good to go. And if anybody that's looking at this and they need some stuff, I mean, I got some killer Cabela's. I found Sitka wear. I found a lot of Columbia, REI. I mean, good stuff. I mean, Cabela's guide wear. I mean, I got some killer hunting clothes, warm clothes. I mean, if you see this and you're looking for some warm clothes, shoot me a text, shoot me a message, and trust me, let me know what size you wear and what you like. Take a picture of the stuff you like, because I'm sure I can find it. And I do find I'm a Goodwill. Now I'm a Goodwill, freaking nut. I call myself Name Brand Al. I mean, when I hunt Kentucky. I live here in Houston. I hunt the northern part of Kentucky. And I got clothes to die for. I mean, sweaters, jackets, sweatshirts, you name it. So if you're looking for anything, like I said, shoot me a text. Let me know what you're interested in, and I'm sure I can find it. And when I say cheap, I mean I find some of this stuff. I mean under $10. $10, $12. It's crazy. So, but get off of that subject. Another thing I like to talk about is stories. I mean, now that the season's over, I'd love to hear, and it doesn't have to be a story. And I guess where we get away from how fun hunting it is, because it's a feeling. That's how I look at it. It's not a sport. To me, it's not a sport, because the moment we make a deer a trophy, I think we're degrading him, in my eyes, because he's not he's I don't know. I don't even know where to put him, because it's not fair to go after him like a trophy. I mean, like the national championship or the Super Bowl or the Lord Stanley Cup. I mean, something like that. He's not a trophy like that. Because he demands respect. And I know it sounds corny, but that's how I look at it. That animal demands respect. And so by calling him a trophy, I think you disrespect him. And that's just my own opinion. To me, it's a feeling. I mean, it's a feeling of going in. It's a feeling of putting myself against him. And thank God it's not a win-win-win situation. I mean, I'm not looking to wound them. And I'm not saying that. I'm not looking, to win-win-win. I'm not looking. I just try to do the best I could to respect him. If I shoot at him, it's to shoot at him the best opportunity I can. If he doesn't present the perfect opportunity, then don't shoot. Don't force. And they talk about it, a lot of guys. Don't force the shot. All that stuff, because Once you start doing that, you're disrespecting them, because what are you going to do? Look at it like, I'll stick the broadhead in them and hopefully the broadhead kills them or it does so much damage. And that's what I don't believe in. And thank God I hunt with guys that feel the same way as me. And that's what I love. I mean, where I hunt in Kentucky, my buddies, they're the best. Uh, I hunt with these guys from New Jersey. My buddy Stan, this guy Tom, especially this guy Stan. I mean, he's a true blue bow hunter. I got another friend of mine, John, another guy. They're just so adamant about bow hunting, and that's what is so cool, and that's what I want to talk about too. And that's what, with this, I want to bring it all together. I mean, talk about your buddies, and especially for myself, the people that I've met through, with hunting, and I use hunting as the nucleus, when I meet somebody, as soon as I find out they hunt, then I brag about what I have. And that's what I want to talk about too. What I have, maybe what you have, and we could just talk about it and just like bounce it off each other. The moment we start using what we have, and I'm not bragging, I just like to share it. I mean, I feel so lucky. In the same way, I mean, a lot of us get out there and we almost brag about what we have. What we have, you don't. And I try to share it. To me, if you can't share it, to me, it ain't worth having. It's like having a hot car, a nice picture, any of that. If you can't share it with somebody, then it ain't worth nothing. It's only worth what people are willing to be part of, or to look at it, or to feel it. And that's how I look at it. It's only worth, if you can't share it with somebody and have them excited about it, and maybe have the opportunity where they can share it with you, then it really isn't nothing. And that's where I think hunting has gone. I mean, I know I've been bouncing around, but that's another thing what I want to talk about. How do you feel where hunting is going? Is it getting to, the money end of it? Is it too, it's me, 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 and sorry for your luck, buddy. So I'd like to talk about that too. Okay, well, I've been on this thing better part of 18 minutes. And like I said, just come on, shoot me a text, shoot me a message. Try to, like I said, I mean, I know I sound redundant. I'd love for people to come on with me, and or like I said, or I'll go on with you, and we'll really talk about hunting. Let's talk about bow hunting, and I'm sure I can. You'll see my side of it, and I'm sure there's a lot of things I believe in that I'm sure I can be convinced, or I'm open-minded enough to hear your side of it. With that, I appreciate it. DAKY Whitetails, another episode of Chasing a Dream.